there are stages of development, and within those stages of development exists a consciousness of its own. When you study things of this nature, you will find yourself in different stages. But the danger to those different stages is while you're at it, while you're in it, there's a fail-safe proof, a perfective mechanism within each stage that disallows you to be able to understand which stage you are in exactly. Not until you've graduated that specific stage, but as you're in it, chances are likely that you would not understand which stage you're in. You would only be able to reflect the previous stages. But that mere reflection of the previous stages you went through is usually not sufficient for you to be able to gauge where you are, because if you are able to gauge where you are and be able to tell exactly where you are, then you would have figured it all out. That's not what this is. And within each stages of development that has its own consciousness, many people get stuck in one stage and never develop past specific stages. For instance, for things of this nature, one of the first stages is the itch, an uncomfortable impulse to want to do something, to want to stand up and speak up. That can be either through involuntary experiences that kicks your ass, or you foresee something that you would like to prevent, and something deep in you is telling you act, do something. The other stage is you're realizing this is all fraud. The second stage is where 80 to 89% of people studying these things stay, remain, and perpetuate. They remain and they perpetuate the essence of revelation. Revelation is not the end. Revelation occurs so that something can be done with that which has been revealed. Even when you look at most religious and spiritual texts, most spiritual texts that's been misconstrued as religious texts these days, fanatical things, dogmas, there would always be preceding stages during the earlier points that has the similitude of revealing something first. Those are the first stages, but nonetheless, those first stages is the end goal. Because of that similitude of above and below, and the first being the last, people get stuck because the consciousness within that stage, which is active in and of its own, independent of you, the one studying those things, keeps you in it until you evolve past it. The revelation that something is bad or wrong is not the end game. So, just a little word to the man and woman who's studying things of this nature. If revelation is the stage that you remain in and you allow other people to keep you in that stage of mere revelation, to the point where you now lose your significance and all that you could utter at any given moment is, this is fraud, this is bad, they can't do this, they can't do that, or there's a problem, this and that, and the only thing you know how to identify is the mere fraud and the fault, and you've yet to find a solution, and you don't know how to find a solution, and even worse, you've yet to know how to enforce the solution and actually have that revelation give birth to something else. Then know that it's time for you to reawaken from that initial stage of awakening. It's a cocoon within a cocoon within a cocoon. It has to reawaken itself and blossom like a flower over and over and over. To those trapped in that stage of revelation of it's a fraud, it's bad, it's this, they can't do this, they can't do that, there are many more paths to be taken and roads to lead. Those roads that you are leading, not following, you are leading that road. Those roads that you're leading leads you to some other road. Life, you live it. But in the process of living it, you don't stay stuck in one stage. Many people out here are trying to tell you one thing or the other, or merely selling you that stage that you are comfortable in. They come to you on a stage that makes you feel comfortable to perpetuate what you like hearing. I'm not going to tell you what you like hearing. I'll redact certain things because ultimately people's impulse or feelings are always involved for the sake of respecting people's perspective and whatnot. But ultimately the truth will come out. Stop being stuck in one stage. And whatever you think your revelation is only one degree of a revelation. Because once you get to that next stage has its own degree of revelation that you must surpass. Otherwise, you just be jacking off and chasing your tail. And then the other party that you're pointing fingers at, that you're saying they're bad, they're fraud, they're this and that, that's exactly what they want. They want you to stay stuck in one stage. Go beyond speculation. Begin to function. People yelling and screaming on social media, all this trash people do about how much they're fraud, this and that, remains an insignificant factor in reality when it comes out here. When you're out here actually doing things, it's real life, all that is irrelevant. Do some self-reflection on what stage that you have surpassed and where you need to be. You must first learn to remove all the baggage that you have held from the previous experiences that you have conditioned yourself to, or someone else has conditioned yourself into. If you hold on to those baggage and you're trying to make what you're trying to get to fit what you've held on to, that is part of what keeps you perpetuated in that one cycle of one stage and one revelation. Some people spend 10, 20, 30, 40 years in the same stage. No different than a Mason. A Mason who says he belongs to some lodge and this and that, he stays on one degree throughout his whole life. You're better than that. The grand lodge of life that you are going through, the degrees of life, the tests, the allegories and similitudes of life, within your everyday thoughts, your impulse, the subtleties of what you do and what people do to you, or the totality of circumstances that occur, almost in a magical manner, does not want you to be stuck in one stage. You don't want to repeat this grade while you're here. You want to get done what you need, and when it's time for you to get out, get the fuck out. Don't come back here. Graduate past this earth bullshit. But while you're at it, don't be stuck in one stage. Live the best life you can by not speculating. Only when you go past the point of speculation would you actually make all this information beneficial and useful to you, beyond merely saying they're fraud and just being upset. You will stay upset till eternity. Those people you hate so much will keep prospering, because nature does not discern between good or bad, or whether you're upset or not, when it comes to affecting those who you are saying are bad or can't do one thing or the other. But nature definitely discerned how you feel regarding yourself, though, because that feeling of yours, that anger, that anguish, that fire that you're not directing properly, it's the rhythm that you're putting out that nature will then use to bring similitude of that to you, that will perpetuate your suffering. So pay very close attention to what you're doing, and most importantly, know that it's important to shed things that you've been taught in the past in order to evolve. Otherwise, nature will keep kicking your ass. Take care and best of luck.
Hey, and also don't forget to join my Patreon if you haven't. There I go through documents that I have used personally successfully and videos that I do not post here on YouTube that are in many ways private in nature. And also I go through live audio interactions and video interaction of my own experience with certain things. And I also have a website where you can go through a list of documents or services if you need them. And these videos that are posted on YouTube are also uploaded on Anchor. You can listen to it via audio means. And there's an Instagram page and a Facebook page. The link is on the screen and in the description. Take care and best of luck.